improving your photography can be challenging, especially at the start of your journey. However, there is one key element that once you understand and learn how to use it effectively, it can truly raise your photography to new heights. When I first started with photography and opened up my eyes to the opportunities, I was captivated by the beauty around me. I would take one shot after the other, caught up in the excitement, until I looked back at my photos and realized something shocking. None of them looked good. I couldn't figure out why. I spent ages wondering, analyzing and second guessing my compositions. Then I decided to take a step back. Instead of constantly shooting, I started studying the works of people I admired, staring at their photos, breaking them down and trying to understand what made them so powerful. That's when it hit me. Looking at the masterpieces of Fred Herzog, Ernst Haas, Alex Webb, Todd Heido and many others, I saw the common thread that tied them all together. No matter what they were capturing, one thing always stood out: how they masterfully used light or the absence of it. For the longest time, I believed that great photos could only be taken in extraordinary locations under the perfect conditions. I wasn't alone in this thinking. This is a belief so widespread that photographers now rely on AI tools to replace skies in their photos or alter their images altogether, all in pursuit of that flawless, picture-perfect look. Which, yeah, it might get them a few extra likes on social media. But over the years, I realized something crucial. Perfection, when it hides the true essence of a photo, it doesn't enhance it. It takes away from it. It strips an image of its uniqueness, making it feel just like everything else. So instead of chasing the illusion of perfection, the real skill lies in embracing what's already there. The key to creating truly artistic and distinctive photography isn't in fabricating better conditions, but in understanding and using the available light to your advantage. After countless trials and errors, I realized that a great photo doesn't necessarily need golden hour light. It doesn't need harsh sunlight. In fact, it doesn't even need the light to be the main artistic enhancer of the image. What truly matters is how it's used to support the composition. But before I could use light effectively, I first had to train myself to see it. If you're enjoying the video so far, hit the like button and consider subscribing with the bell. Now I want to share with you what I've learned about how light can transform a scene, insights that will hopefully inspire you to use it in ways that will elevate your compositions. I want to deliberately start with these two photos that demonstrate how the light that appears to be the protagonist of the photo is actually not. These are two of my best shots. When you first observe them, your attention is immediately drawn to the vibrant light, forming a captivating triangular shape. However, the true essence of the first photo lies beyond the dominant light. It is a subtle element that you may have noticed but was overshadowed by the sheer power of the primary light source. This element is the rim light that emphasizes the man crossing the street. This effect occurs when the light source, the subject and your camera align perfectly, similar to a solar eclipse with the moon. In the second shot, the main light is the protagonist, but what makes the subject pop instead of being a complete silhouette is that secondary light that highlights parts of the hat and the shoulders of the subject. In the next photo, which I refer to as the magic door, the gentle light that invades the shadows prevents them from turning completely black. This adds depth to the narrative as the shadows share the same intensity with our subject. From a storytelling perspective, on one hand, our world is depicted with a suppressed light. On the other hand, the brilliant glow originating from the imaginary door, reminiscent of the entrance to a magic realm, becomes increasingly appealing and inviting. Thus, by intentionally avoiding harsh shadows, we effectively amplify the impact of our storytelling. This doesn't mean that harsh shadows are not to be used. They ought to be used if they serve a purpose. In this example, the harsh, almost black shadows in the foreground is what allows for the two semicircles of light to work as leading elements to our subject deep in the frame. Again, the subtle reflections of the semicircles to the side walls is what gives definition to the shapes themselves, and by extension structuring the entire shot. When light is abundant, the possibilities are endless. But on a dull rainy day, light continues to exist. In this example, I captured photographs on a rainy day where distinct highlights and shadows were not clearly defined. In my opinion, these days offer the best lighting conditions as they create delicate gradients of light and shadows. The key is to find the right spots. In this case, I was shooting a narrow alley where rooftops were casting subtle shadows, resulting in certain areas appearing slightly darker. This location was near a green-colored shop and the color added to the overall effect. As this person walked by with a black and red umbrella, they entered the pockets of this gentle interplay between light and shadow, providing a shot with a cinematic atmosphere. It's these subtle differences in light and shadow that contribute to the cinematic feel, not the high contrast lighting conditions. Now let's delve into darker settings. This photo was taken in the tube, showcasing the essence of the cinematic feel through subtle lighting. The subject's hair is beautifully illuminated by the overhead lamps, while the background lighting from the distant rooftop lamps is adding definition. This gradient of light effectively separates the subject from the background, demonstrating that it's not just bokeh that holds significance. However, one of the most crucial lighting effects in this shot, although less noticeable, is the slight haze in front of the train lights. Once again, it's these hidden light effects that elevate a photo. If your aim is to produce photographs that are on par to those of Alex Webb, Ernst Haas and other masters of photography, then harnessing the power of light, shadows and contrast becomes vital. Just capturing a binary image of intense blacks and highlights, although visually captivating at first glance, it falls short of achieving true impact in storytelling. You will often hear top contemporary photographers speaking modestly about high contrast silhouette shots, recognizing them as being trivial. To truly stand out, you must transcend the obvious and use light in ways that will yield something genuinely distinctive. Something that pushes the boundaries of what we have previously seen. Although I do not always achieve it, this is the exact mindset I aim to have every time I go out to capture photos. I genuinely hope that this is something that will help you too. But if you have any additional thoughts, let me know down in the comments. Now, if you want to know why I stopped taking nice photos and how this helped me to become a better photographer, click and watch this video next. That was all for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, I will see you on the streets. Bye bye.